Kempire is brought to you by. Do you know how important it is to rate and review a podcast? Rate and review the Kempire podcast today. 5 stars. Let us know what you love about the podcast. Rate and review the Kempire podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Did you know that you can watch the Kempire channel on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter? Follow us on all of our platforms. More information on our YouTube, our Blue Sky, our Twitter, aka X, and more socials, and every way that you can support us will be available in the episode notes. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Apologies for being a little tardy for the party. But I appreciate you guys. Happy Monday. It's a rainy Monday here in New York City and a bit chilly. Let me know where you are watching from and let me know if you can see and hear me loud and clearly. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitch and Twitter and behind the scenes here on TikTok. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And as always, be sure to let us know how you would rate this week's episode from 1 to 10. It wasn't a bad episode. I'm still just looking at the edit like it's a little sloppy for me. I don't know about anyone else. The content's okay. But the edit, I'm really paying attention. Remember, because I watched the show multiple times, and I'm looking at the edit, and I'm like, look, who's editing this? I feel like my videos are edited better. Come on. But, okay, fine. We're trying to get it together. They're trying something new. Anytime you try something new, sometimes it doesn't, do what it's supposed to do. Okay? Monique is on TikTok watching from Milwaukee. Crisp and clear sound. Thank you so much. Judy says the sound is sounding. Thank you, Judy. Shout out to our King's Guards. 1-800-TALK to PJ says, Kimura across the street. Kimura across the street. I keep seeing that clip a lot lately. Shout out to Nene Leaks. Okay. All right. Let me see what everyone is saying in our YouTube live chat. Shout out to everyone watching on YouTube. We weren't able to go live on Facebook today because something's going on with Facebook and these streaming platforms. I don't know, but F Facebook. F them. Come on. F them. Like I only stream there because I do know that we have people that watch and follow our pages there. I'm sorry to y'all, but come on over to YouTube. Come on over to TikTok. Come on over to Twitch and Twitter. Shout out to Twitch and Twitter. Hey, Aurora. Aurora's watching on X right now. I mean, FX too, though. Come follow us on YouTube. All right. All right. Shout out again to our King's Guards on YouTube as well. We appreciate them being here for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. I completely missed the ratings, what you guys rated. But it's okay. We will talk, and we will be taking some callers as well. I saw there was a little kerfuffle in the live chat before I got here. What were you guys fighting about? You know I'm nosy. Oh, look, I'm in the YouTube live chat, and I'm like, they're arguing about something? What happened? What are they fighting about? Y'all know we don't do that over here. We are grown adults. It's a Monday morning. I understand, there's full moons and eclipses happening and some of y'all out of your minds, but don't lose it here because we will get you together. Please understand. Okay? All right. We don't moderate adults. All right. All right. Miss Jareed says she's rating it between a 4 and a 6. Oh, yeah, it was just okay. I don't think I could give it a 7 to 10. In regards to Atlanta, we already recapped the Real Housewives of Atlanta taglines. For those that may have missed it, we did do a separate live when the taglines came out, and we rated them. For those that may have missed that, let us know how you would rate the taglines. Did you think about the taglines? Oh, it was a spam bot that was in the chat? Did I forgot to put subscribers only on? Did I forget? I don't remember. It's all right. We'll be strong. Shout out to our King's Guards for holding us down. So we already rated and talked about the taglines. I have to say, Angela Oakley's tagline really grew on me. At first, when I heard it, I was like, okay, it's not bad. But then when I really thought about the symbolism, her last name, a tree, and the shade, I was like, okay, that's clever. I told you, I've been watching Angela. I'm like, I feel like if she had started with, last season or the previous season, she would fit right in with this group. She would. I feel like she fits perfectly within what people want from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. And apparently she had been filming for months beforehand. Because remember, they were doing test filming. So she's been considered from the beginning in regards to this reboot. All right. So the taglines, yeah, I'm not going to revisit them. Hers stood out to me. I still don't like Britt Edie, especially after hearing the video of them saying it. Who else stood out to me? Drew is forever acting, but I don't remember Drew's tagline. It's unimportant. Yeah, they weren't great overall. And then everyone was saying that Portia's tagline was a throwback to Marlo's tagline. And I was like, oh my God. First of all, production, come on now. You guys choose these taglines. Y'all should know better than that. Or maybe y'all set Portia up. They set you up, Portia. Peach Juice Williams sometimes go by to ya. I already know. The people like, oh, you just stuck it to Portia because she unblocked you. She might block me today, though. Look. No, she won't. I'm sure production told her to unblock me because they want me to report on all the stuff. It's okay, Portia. It's okay once the season ends. You can block me again and we can go back to not knowing each other and disliking each other, but not really because we don't know each other. Does that make sense now? I don't dislike Portia. I don't know Portia. I actually interviewed Portia. I interviewed Portia back in the day on Kempire Radio, my other YouTube channel, which is still around. You can go check out the interview when she was Portia's steward. And she talked about doing whole home line and sheets and things like that. That's before she did Bedded by Portia. What's it called? Pampered by Portia. Bedded by Portia sounds better, especially with the accusations. Blocked. Look, blocked. I can't help myself. Bedded by Portia. Come on. Portia, you better give me a proceed. Give me a proceed, Portia. Bedded by Portia. I like it. Yeah. Bedded by Portia. Where do I come up with this stuff? All right. Where was I going? Oh, I had interviewed Portia years ago and she talked about doing like a whole sheets and home line and things like that. So it's nice to see that she's still doing it. That's still around. Even Drew says she likes the sheets. I never got any of the sheets. I think I thought I was going to get some of the sheets at one particular point. Should I get the sheets? Are the sheets good? I just got some sheets. Sheets are expensive. Look, I don't need to get any more sheets. But Bedded by Portia. Think about it. All right, so back to this. Focus, people. We were talking about Portia. Okay, full circle moment. Here we are. Okay. The taglines, you guys will let me know. Replay crew. Shout out to Replay crew, okay? R. Bless says, it sounds like a naughty movie. I'm going to keep what I just had in my head, okay? And maybe one day I'll talk about it at the Kempire After Dark live show. Speaking of the Kempire After Dark live show, I did release the audio exclusively for our club, Kempire Baddies, along with my recap of The White Lotus episode 5. I know you guys have been waiting on that. That has dropped exclusively on our Apple subscription podcast. So be sure to subscribe today. I have extended our free 3-day trial. So if you wanted to check it out, there's your opportunity. And if you're a member of the channel, I will be releasing the video of the New York City show that we had featuring our friend, the Brooke Ashley. So stay tuned for that. I will work on that this week. I got lots of things to do, y'all. And look, all right? Okay. Oh, wait a second. 811, hold on. Oh, I lost your comment, 811. Where we go? 811 says, I have 2 sets of Pampered by Portia's sheets. Nice sheets. Okay. I mean, Drew said the same thing. So I'm thinking that they are nice. Right? Look, right? But Drew lies a lot. I can never know what to believe with Drew. She was very lovely, though, when I met her. She was very lovely. But maybe she was pretending. Damn. Look, damn. Just never know what you're getting, right? Hey, Fendi. I know Fendi. I've known Fendi since, amazing songwriter. I've known Fendi since the Kempire Radio days. There we go. All right. Focus. Can y'all focus? I'm very distracted today. Okay, but not anymore. I'm focused. Let's talk about Britt Edie. So some of you, well, not some of you, Tish, has been calling in because she's been looking into what the hell exactly does Britt Edie husband do besides give us a screw face the entire time on this damn show. All right? So why is he moved and anything they said he did, allegedly did, I'm going to believe it because he moves suspicious, right? Like his face is always like, Always giving the screw faces. And it's different. It's different than the Todd father. It's different than Charles Oakley. Like, they're not moving suspicious. They just look like they're cranky. He's giving cranky and suspicious. Right? Someone said squirrel. I went, wait, squirrel? Remember when I was in D.C. and I was looking out the window, we were doing our Salt Lake City, speaking of the Todd father, I was doing the Salt Lake City recap and I kept, well, that was like a terrible foreshadowing of what happened in D.C. But I kept on seeing all these different things outside the window and I was like, but anyway, we're back. I'm focused again. Okay? Calm down. All right. So we have this family scene with Britt eating. Britt, I don't understand and I get it. We're watching an edited show. The fact that you keep bringing up Kenya based off the edit, it feels out of place. It feels unwarranted. Yes, she asked you about where your wedding band was. Yes, maybe she was giving you a little bit of hazing, but I don't think that it warranted you. Every scene you have, you're talking about Kenya. And look, Kenya, I know you watch. Hey, Kenya. Although I like seeing you a part of the season, and I feel like we're missing something every time we see you on and we're not getting confessionals. I still do not condone what you did at your event. I still don't condone it yet. But more and more I watch a Britt Edie, I'm like, damn. But it makes me more mad at Kenya. Now we got to be forced on all this other stuff. You force Phaedra now on us too. We got to be checking out these new girls and we don't get nothing from you besides, little moments. And then you're going to be absent from the middle of the season. I'm mad at you, Kenya. Kenya about to block me. It's okay. I've been blocked by Buttah. Anita Baker. It would be kind of a flex to be blocked by Miss USA, though. Look, come on. I'm kidding. Calm down. Y'all are too serious on a Monday. Did y'all get some sleep? Did y'all get some rest? But no, I'm mad at her. Because now we're forced to deal with what we're dealing with on this show. And look, it's not that bad, but it's not that great. Nelly says Britt seems like single black woman. Or you mean single black female? Yeah, but we don't use those females for black women because there's a whole history. Okay, it's a whole other conversation. But yeah. Yeah, so Britt has her family over and what's his name? Mike? I can never remember this man. Oh, I just call him Screwface. Always giving the camera Screwface. He's always getting everybody Screwface. He doesn't seem very happy, ever. I don't know, but okay. So Britt admits, because this is the second or third time that she's talked about being a video vixen, and shout out to the video vixens, okay? All right, not all of them are, superhead. We had what's her name, Melissa Ford. There were some, big name. Even Kenya was like she wasn't a video vixen, but she was a video girl at one particular point in the 90s. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the way that Britt tries to make it seem like it's a flex, I was a video girl and I was a video vixen in high school. And they were like, did you date Rick Ross? Yeah, I dated Rick Ross. Okay. Like, it's not a flex. And it kind of makes me look at it like, okay. All right. But we do get to learn a little bit more about Britt in this scene. She does end up talking about Kenya, and she was just like, there won't be any problems as long as Kenya keeps it cute. Next week is when we see it go down between Kenya and Britt, at least the beginning of like an actual beef. I don't know if we get to see the scene. I think so. I think we do get to see. This might be Kenya's last week on the show next week. So Britt mentions that. Then she goes downstairs to have a conversation with Mike's sister. So they're talking about that. She talks about her dad, losing her dad back in 2015, and apparently had a $2 million insurance policy, but they weren't able to get it because he was in between jobs. Something about that seemed fishy to me. So part of me was sort of like, wait, did they not get it because he stopped paying on it? Because he was in between jobs? Is that what happened? Because just because you're in between jobs, if you're paying for your life insurance, aren't you entitled to it? I'm not a life insurance expert, but I have life insurance. So I'm sort of like, I don't remember that being a stipulation. I mean, maybe it is, but I was sort of like, that doesn't make sense to me. Okay. But she talks about that's what motivated her to get into insurance and launch her business. And apparently she's been estranged from her sisters because she brought them into the business. Her older sister ended up leaving. She didn't, they just didn't work together. And then her other sister, she had to fire. So she's a bit estranged from her siblings, and she wants to kind of connect with them. All right. So that was Britt Edie's scene. I will say this though. I appreciate getting to know the ladies. The scene was just a scene for me. I wasn't like, oh, like, ooh. Like Kelly, her scene, what she was talking about, her hosting this event. I was like, all right. First of all, this is Kelly hosting another event, but it wasn't a group event. The first time we saw her host an event. So she's already giving us a lot already in regards to what people say, not me personally, want from housewives. They want glamour, they want money, they want parties, all of this stuff. I just want an interesting personality, someone fun to watch. So far, although I do think Kelly in the squeaky voice, because I'm very sensitive to voices, sometimes like when she goes to the high-pitched voice, and you notice in this episode they kept on mentioning about her being loud. So I was sort of like, yeah. So sometimes I'm like, but I love her twin daughters. They're matching outfits at the party at the end. I know I'm jumping around. Every time I see them together, they're so adorable. Brooklyn's adorable. PJ's adorable. Just the cuteness overload in that scene. But anyway, I'll get back to that. Let's talk about Porsha and Kelly. Porsha and Kelly, Cancer and Pisces. I just want to point that out, okay? So, they had their issues because Kelly was sort of like, why'd you take that man? Why'd you steal that man, that woman's husband? And Portia was off, she was taken aback. She clutched her pearls, understandably. So Kelly reveals, well, Shamia wanted me to have the conversation with you. Remember, at the party, Shamia had her come early so that she could be like, well, you told me this about Portia. I think you should have a conversation with Portia. Not you putting this on Shamia, but I don't think Kelly was intentionally putting this on Shamia. She was basically saying that Shamia wanted me to have the conversation. It was Kelly's fault on how she brought it up. Kelly could have pulled Portia to the side and had a conversation or waited till another time. Okay? So, but it was interesting how Portia sort of jumped on the like, oh, so my best friend told you to blindside me? So I don't know if there was a miscommunication or if this is just Portia trying to produce. Okay? Because not only is she a journalist, she's a producer. Yeah, she's supposed to be producing things. She's supposed to be producing things for NBC Universal. That was part of her deal coming back. All right. So she talks about that she's planning this event at Beaumont, a Mommy and Me event. She invites Portia. Portia says that Kelly has different personalities, and they're all loud. I agree. I agree in regards to them, like loud and squeaky a little bit. I don't mind it. I mean, I mind it, but I'm like, I have to say of the newbies, I don't mind Kelly. She might have to stay. Look, she might have to stay because she's giving us the events that you guys like. She might have to stay. All right. But so Kelly says in response in her confessional, when Portia says she has different personalities, and she's like, and Portia has different men. She might have to stay. That's what you guys like, the snappy, shady thing. I was like, okay. So Portia is taken aback when Kelly reveals that Shamia was the one that told Kelly to bring this up to Portia. So Portia takes it as my best friend told you to blindside me at her birthday party. I don't know why Portia would immediately think that of Shamia, or why she would read that as opposed to, well, did she tell you to blindside me at the party, or did she tell you to have a conversation because you had already said this to her? We saw what Shamia said. Shamia is innocent, okay? We know. I think Shamia is lucky in the fact that we've seen Shamia and her behavior over the years on this show. So we know who Shamia is. So Shamia might be a newbie as a housewife, but we know her loyalty to Portia. We know the kind of friend that she's been to Portia. So we're not looking at Shamia as being shady, right? We're not looking at Shamia as being shady. Do we think that she was? No. Look, you see me sure to. Did she? No, she's a Taurus. Shut up, you Taurus haters. She's a Taurus. She's loyal. Maybe a little too, not maybe. She's too loyal to Portia. Oh, we're going to get to Portia in a second. Oh, wait, we've been on Portia anyway. What I didn't love based off the edit was sort of like, now all of a sudden, now we're best friends. I'm happy, though, that they were able to move on. We're not going to dwell. But she's like, our relationship might be really bipolar. And she's like, I'm sorry for calling you a troll. You might just be my treasure troll. And then Kelly's like, well, as long as I'm the pink troll, I'm happy to move on. I think these two could actually have a good, fun relationship that we would find entertaining to watch. Because we also don't love on Housewives dwelling in the drama. That where it does, especially when there really doesn't need to be, even though I can understand Portia being taken aback with Kelly asking almost immediately, why you take that woman's husband? I can understand, not wanting to be friendly with a person like that. But okay, let's move forward. Okay, that's what we will do. Hey, Taurus with the T. Thank you for being a member. Taurus with the T says, Shamia is too loyal to Portia. Hashtag Taurus things. Is that true? Look, are we too loyal? Oh, Lord. I don't know. I don't think I'm that loyal. Like, I'm loyal to people that deserve being loyal to. But maybe that comes with age. But Shamia and I are of the same age. Shamia and I are of the same age. It's something with Portia, though, that I hope after the season she's seeing, like, I think they could be friends. I just don't think they could be the same friends. I couldn't understand how they remained friends the way that they've been friends after what we've seen over the years. I don't know. Maybe because Shamia wasn't on the show. But we don't talk enough about how reality television ruins friendships. We talk about it for marriages, but I always tell you, we don't talk enough about how it can ruin friendships. I can't see these two existing on this show and being the best friends that they used to be. I just don't see it. And that's not Shamia's fault. Okay, Elizabeth, thank you for being a member. Elizabeth says, way too loyal. Tauruses are loyal, but once you cross us, you are finished. Maybe that's what it is. Look, maybe that's what it is. Look. All right. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. The podcast Kempire is available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating because rating a podcast is very important. So if you haven't already, be sure to head on over, subscribe today. You can hear our live recaps and special episodes, and you have an opportunity to join Club Kempire, our paid subscription there, and we're making it worth your while. We're talking about The White Lotus. We talked about Traders. I dropped a little RHOBHT. You never know. I might talk about some other stuff. That's going to be my little paywall to drop tea. Oh, damn. Hey, K Saunders. Thank you so much for being a member as well. Shout out to all the members. I appreciate all the members. I didn't realize how many members we got in here today. Thank you, guys. K Saunders says, Kempire, you need to add I only watch Kempire's recap to your poll. We see, but some of y'all would just do that to be petty. But next time. But I already know, if that's 100%, I said every single one of y'all are just petty. All right? Nora says the blind loyalty of Shamia will bite her in the butt. I think it already is. But I think at this particular point, it is. I wonder how Portia feels with the amount of love that Shamia's getting this season. I know how she's feeling. Portia. All right, let me move on. So all's good with Portia and Kelly. Drew in the studio. I really wanted to listen to Drew's album before today's live. I haven't had the time. But based off of the little snippet that we heard in the studio, I've already said, Drew has a beautiful voice. I didn't realize how much of a beautiful voice she had before joining Real Housewives of Atlanta, although she had been pursuing music, but she, her acting popped off, okay? So we get to see Drew in the studio and Angela Oakley. Can we talk about Angela Oakley's body? Look, I know we don't talk about body. We're not body shaming or anything. She has a wonderful, she is statuesque and she's a tall woman. I just noticed like all the different outfits. She was on Watch What Happens Live. She was nervous on Watch What Happens Live. You could tell. Here's the thing. You know what? When they had the reality TV Reckoning and Bethany talked about Watch What Happens Live and what the housewives are kind of made to do on that show and come for each other and blah, 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 blah. So that always sits with me, especially when a newbie goes on Watch What Happens Live. I kind of feel for them because it's sort of like Andy is the king, and everyone has to be like the court jester to please the king. And I could tell she was nervous. I could tell that she felt like she had to show up and be shady and do all the things. And I think she did a decent job. We've seen a lot worse on Watch What Happens Live from some newbies. But I just, especially as Black people on there, shout out to Will Packer, though. Will Packer fit right in. Who knew? I liked his suit, too. And he spilled a lot of tea on Hollywood and the movies that he's directed and produced. And I'm going to get that book. He gave some good stories. Like, you did a good job, Will Packer. Snip this and send it to him. He did a good job on Watch What Happens Live. I was highly entertained by his commentary. Yes, B. Anna says, "Hey, Kempire, you're about to get me through my elliptical workout. Don't you always like to have something to watch when you're doing something? Like if I'm on the stair climber, I can't go on the stair climber today, y'all. I hurt my lower back. I'm doing that March squat in ab challenge. It wasn't that hurt my lower back. It was me putting a TV down. I forgot to bring my heating pad in here too. Lord. I remember when the elders used to say, "No, don't get old." I was like, y'all so silly. Y'all so silly. Yes, T says that Will Packer called Angela out about her constant comments about Shamia. Yeah. But look, this is what they want from housewives. We're going to talk about the Shamia and Angela stuff in just a second. So back to Drew in the studio. So Drew is in the studio. For those that are just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta girls. Yeah. Okay. So the sounds, look, the music sounds good. I have to say that little snippet of her song, I was like, oh, I want to go listen to the album. So I'm going to listen to the album this week, Drew. Okay. Congratulations on your new project. She sounds great. There are a lot of housewives that put out music and are touring and selling out shows around the world. Countess Luann. And Drew should be actually selling out shows because she can actually sing. But y'all won't show up for her, right? Because she lies? No, that's not because y'all don't celebrate the talent the way that y'all should celebrate. But y'all will go watch a train wreck. I swear to you, I don't slurp like that. Okay? But y'all will go and watch a train wreck and not support good R&B. Drew, when you coming to New York, I'm going to come watch the show. And I'll be front and center, body rolling. I'll be front and center like, is this one about Dennis? Yes, Taurus with the T says, "I love Drew's music already." No, I like that song too. I remember that. All right. Let's focus. I mean, even her visuals and the pictures and the promo look good. So stay tuned. I'm going to definitely take a listen to Drew's album. Drew, you're welcome. Okay? We're helping promote the project. Not that you needed it. Pebbles, thank you so much for being a member. And for the super chat, Pebbles says Britt's boyfriend favors Guilford Godfrey. Hate his spray on. He is the Black Gilbert Godfrey, Pebbles. Thank you. I couldn't figure it out, except he's not as funny as Guilford. Yeah. Is Guilford still with us? Did he die? I can't remember. Don't call me Stacey Dash. Did he die? Right? Okay. Let's move on. Let's forget. Oh, Judy says no. Oh, okay. Damn. Moving on. Sharon, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Sharon says, "I hated Britt kept calling herself a 90s video girl because I feel like it's a setup for Kenya to pounce. Remember who the most famous video girl of the 90s was? Corinne Steffens. Very cringe." Yeah. Look. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Sashay Shantae. How you doing, girl? How you doing? Sashay Shantae says, "Sorry, I'm late. Did we talk about Drew and her constant lingerie and blazer combos? What is this, honey?" Wait, hold on. What is this, honey? Sasha Shantae, come on. I did. You know what? I will say this. I mean, I noticed what she wore to this sort of Mommy and Me event. I was like, is this appropriate? But I get it. It's a show. We're shooting a reality show. But is this appropriate with young girls that are going to be there? I mean, maybe if it was closed, I don't know. I don't want to be a prude, but y'all probably say that I am. It's fine. Anyway, can we focus? We're in the studio. All right. Okay. So we're in the studio with Drew, and we hear a preview of the new song. Angela talks about her relationship with Charles, how she met Charles in the elevator of their building. She talks about how she made friends with the front desk, and then she's like, "Did he get a massage today? Did someone come here?" Da da da. And I was like, I mean, if you lived in the same building, wouldn't you do the same thing? I mean, I always make friends with the concierge or the front desk, no, regardless, because they keep their ear to the streets. Okay. I was like, oh, wait. So some of y'all in the chat said that Gilbert Godfrey is dead. Can we confirm? Look. Tiff says, I think he passed. Can y'all confirm? Oh, we don't want to do that to the man. Okay. So Angela talks about this, about how she met him and their relationship. Kenya then redirects, because she's a pro at this, and asks Drew, is Dennis coming to the studio? And Drew she's asking about everything else but that. And Kenya's like, girl. Brooklyn Rose says, yes, he passed. Bella says, that man has passed on. Rest in peace, Gilbert Godfrey. Sorry. Okay. Thank you so much. Jasmine says, yes, he passed in April of 2022. The years between 2020 and 2023 are a little bit of a blur for a lot of us, right? A little bit of a blur. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So Kenya's asking Drew about Dennis and what's going on with Dennis. Is he coming to the studio? Drew seems like she doesn't want to talk about it. Okay. And then production throws Drew under the bus, because Drew is trying to act as if this is just a business relationship and that she hasn't spoken to Dennis on the phone. Then they show her talking to him on the phone, and they zoom in to show that she refers to him as Dennis bro, even though she says this relationship is just business. I don't know. I don't know what to believe with Drew. And this is what annoys me with some of these housewives, because when they become such liars, this is why I think a lot of people are over Mia be lying, because she lies so much, you just don't know what's true. And you don't want to watch a reality show where you just don't trust anything that comes out of someone's mouth. And that is what Drew is turning into, even though Drew is definitely a lot more likable than Mia. Okay? She's 100% more likable than Mia, but she lies a lot. I can't even say if she lies more than Mia or lies equal to Mia, but homegirl lies a lot. And word on the street, production knows. That's the word on the street. Sorry, y'all. You all have asked, Kempire, drop the skincare routine. Well, now I am. I am so excited about our new partnership with Buttah. I've been following the company for many, many years, and I know a lot of you are probably already familiar with their products. So I've been able to try their products for the last few weeks, and I have to say, I am utterly impressed. I'm not going to go through my nightly routine or my other routines, because I have a morning routine, a nightly routine, I have a weekly routine, I have a monthly routine in regards to my skincare. So there is a whole system, but you have to start somewhere. So why not start now? First of all, let me talk about my morning routine. So I gotta wash my face. You have to find the right cleanser, all right? And not all cleansers are made the same. Start with the cleanser, gives me a good lather. Once I'm doing that, another key component to your skincare, don't use the towel that you use to dry your hands or to dry your body on your face. They have these high quality, silky soft towels. You use it once and you throw it out. I love that. It's going to change your skincare routine. Once you're done with that, put on vitamin C. This is a game changer. For those that say, Kempire, your skin is glowing. Game changer. Vitamin C. I will also say this. Because I've tried so many different skincare products, I can tell quality versus, not so quality. Quality so far from everything I've tried. There's also a very key component. And then after you've done your vitamin C, it's time to put on your moisturizer. Cocoa Shea Revitalizing Cream. I love this because I've tried some other companies and I'm not going to name them. Some are too thin or too thick or too scenty. This is perfect. And I do not say that lightly, and I'm not saying that because it's a partnership. I would tell you the truth. If you know me, you know that. Perfect consistency. When I've used this literally today, this woman that I met, she's like, oh my God, you have perfect skin. I can't tell you the amount of times that people tell me that, but but here's the final and key component, sunscreen. Very important. And I love the fact that they sent me the perfect system. Sunscreen, tinted mineral sunscreen, SPF 30. SPF 90 you don't need. I don't know why they sell it, but it is what it is. So we've partnered with Buttah, and I hope that you will get you a little something. For those that have been asking, what is your skincare routine? I just gave you my morning routine. Stay tuned for the nightly routine and other things. More information on our partnership is available at buttahskin.com/Kempire. All that information will be available in the description. Thanks, Buttah. Kenya says, that's wrong. You really should have reached out to Portia and told Portia that you were going to be working and filming with Dennis. And Drew, in her confession, says, I did reach out to Portia. I texted her. We were supposed to meet up. And they show all the text messages. And I don't even know if these text messages are real. The way that they're showing the text message. I get it. Production, you're trying to be different. But we don't know if these text messages are real or made up. Because you're just showing us words behind Drew. No, show us the actual screenshot of those text messages to prove. Or maybe Drew didn't give you the screenshots because she lying again? Damn, Drew.
Lies! The lie!
Look, damn it, Drew. Always lying. All right. So, what is going on with Cynthia and these wigs? And I said this last week, and Cynthia's a beautiful woman. I've seen Cynthia up close and personal. Beautiful woman. But the wigs this season are giving friend of. Like, the budget is not budgeting. That wig she came in to film, I was like, Cynthia. And then at the end with the bob, I was like, Cynthia, what is going on? All right, fine. So Kenya says that Drew is wrong for that. And she's like, Drew, you're being talked about like you're a whore. This is what people love from Kenya. Kenya's going to say what it is. She's going to be extra dramatic. She's going to make television, okay? She's also a producer. And again, normally, if Kenya was in the good graces of production in the network, we would get a confessional of her reacting to what Drew is doing. But no, we have to rely on Cynthia. And we're okay with Cynthia doing that because, Cynthia's good too. But we needed more. So Cynthia says, not whore, maybe hoe, but whore? No, we needed the whore because now it's funny. I mean, she is being talked about in that way. All right. So then Angela brings up the fact that her issues with Shamia and that, Shamia brought up that Drew may be screwing Dennis. But everyone seemed to remember Shamia saying that, asking Drew, are you sleeping with Dennis? Even Kenya was like, isn't that what she said? And then Cynthia's like, I can't unhear it. Then they play the video and Shamia did not say that. See, okay, but here's the thing. I will say this. Again, we're watching an edited show. Shamia could have said that and they just don't show it. And they're making Kenya and Cynthia look like they're crazy. She could have said that too. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just telling you the tricks that can happen in reality television. Shamia could have said that. The video shows she didn't say that. She could have said that, and they could have edited that part out. And now this makes Kenya and Cynthia look crazy. What Cynthia's saying, I can't unhear it. Huh? I can't unhear it. And she didn't say that based off of what we saw. Okay. You just never know. So I just say that. Just keep that in mind. Especially when Kenya and Cynthia are like, didn't she say that? Or maybe they just want to hear what they want to hear. But based off the footage, that's not what Shamia said. Shamia just asked if they were dating. Okay. Special K says, that was really good, Kempire. Friend of wig. Yeah, the budget's not budgeting. Poor thing. It's all right, Cynthia. I'm enjoying Cynthia. Okay. Denise says, Cynthia isn't Cynthia, and that bob wasn't bobbing at all hideous. Sorry, Cynthia. We still love you though, Cynthia. I'm loving her confessionals. I'm enjoying the Cynthia energy amongst this cast because I think for those that are having a hard time embracing the newbies, you're still getting the nostalgia of the past, right? Right? Maybe not. No? Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Real House Husband says dating, sleeping together, all the same thing. Okay. Excuse me, maybe in the gay world, but in the heterosexual world, it is not the same thing, Real House Husband. It is not the same thing. Okay. All right, guys, we have over 2,200 of you here watching on YouTube alone. Shout out to those of you watching on TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter. TikTok, keep tapping your screens. Let's get to 20,000. Like, we're at 10,000. We got almost 200 of you in the building. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitch and Twitter. YouTube, we have over 2,200 of you. Let's get to 1,000 likes, please, and thank you. So, but in this scene, Angela talked about her issues with Shamia. And she just talked about how, she got in a little bit of a fight with Shamia about being Portia's representative, which I'm sure for Shamia, she's heard for years since being on this show. So she doesn't like hearing that. But is it far from the truth? Should Angela have gotten involved? I don't mind her actually saying something, though, because if she didn't say it, the audience would have been saying it. And they're like, why is no one saying that in the group? So I appreciate her saying it. And she says, Shamia's reaction, she was like, huffing and puffing, and then she ended up leaving. Yeah, probably because she's triggered by it because she knows all the fans have been saying that about Shamia for years. So that might be her Achilles heel. All right. Potato Pepe on TikTok says, thank God Cynthia is stunning. Yeah, but that's not enough. I need Cynthia to come. Like, you're in a new group of newbies. Like, you cannot just rest and come in like Mother Deer. Like, you need to come in and slay the girls and be like, girl, I set this path forward for you. Bring it. I don't like it. What I'm seeing so far, I don't like it. But it's okay. This is her first time being a friend of and on that budget. So I understand. She's trying to save a coin. She just got a divorce, right? And I'm sure they had a prenup, her and Mike, right? Stunt on him. Hope says, yeah, stunt on him. Come on. Yes, I will say that. Brooklyn says, Cynthia looked nice in the studio. Wait, in the studio? You mean in the confessional? Or are we talking about in the studio with that pigtail wig on? Are we talking about that look? No. And I'm not a wignista, but even me and my bald head were like, Cynthia, what the heck? What's that on your head? Cynthia? And Kenya, you wrong. Y'all came together. You didn't look at Cynthia and say, Cynthia, are you really going to film in that? What kind of friend are you? What kind of friend are you? I will say Angela and Drew look good. And, of course, Kenya. But come on. Cynthia, you're the model of everyone in here. Someone said the mullet wig. That's what it was giving. And some people can rock a mullet. Cynthia is not one of them. Okay, it was giving. Maybe she thought she was going to the studio and she was going to lay down some tracks, as Andy said. Because maybe she thought she was going to lay down some tracks. She was inspired. Cynthia. Okay, all right. Let's move on. So this scene with Shamia and her two sisters. Shamia is giving a lot this season. She's giving the wealth. She's giving the funny. She's giving the personal story. Okay, and she sits down with her sisters, and she's just talking about what's been going on with Shiloh and her daughter, and then last year she had to deal with her own health issues, and it seems as if she feels like pressure because Gerald wants to have more children. She feels pressure to now go on the surrogacy journey. literally watching the scene, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, Shamia, maybe you just need a moment. Maybe take a year off where you're just focused on your two healthy babies and not trying to have another one. At first, I was sort of like, okay, because even when she mentioned it and she met up with Shadina about the surrogacy, I was thinking to myself, well, you're dealing with a lot. Do we really need to add another child to the mix yet? Especially because you're still actively dealing with health issues with Shiloh. But at the end of the day, she living in a $9 million home with a lot of family and money. So some people, if you have the support, you can do it. But this scene said to me that it's a lot on her and that maybe she doesn't need to be doing that right now. But again, your life, you have the means to do it. A lot of us don't have those means. But literally this scene with her sisters, which I thought was beautiful because we never got to know a lot about Shamia before. And we never met her sisters that I can recall. Maybe they've been in background scenes. But I liked seeing the support that she has around her. And there's a lot going on with her. But I do think she needs to take a moment because it seems because as a Taurus, I understood her completely saying that a lot of times when she's going through things, the world doesn't know. And she's taking on a lot and she's not, and a lot of times she's not supported, even though she says her sisters really have shown up for her, despite one of her sisters having lupus. And they've really shown up for her, especially with everything going on with Shiloh. Ashley says her husband probably wants a boy. But look, we can wait a year. Let's focus on, well, he's probably saying, we got the money. Come on, honey. Like, yeah, but money doesn't take for like mental health, physical health, and just, be in the right state. When you think about all the stuff that Shamia has gone through with Shiloh and physically what she went on with her recent loss when she got pregnant, that's a lot. And I'm sure all her hormones and things are like that. Look, God bless all the women that give birth or are trying to give birth. It's a lot. It's a lot of work on the body. I don't know how y'all do it. I really don't. So T says she needs to focus on healing. But again, who are we to say that? We can say it because we're critiquing a show, a scene. But in real life, like, girl, if this is what you truly want to do and not for your husband, then do it. See, and this is where Gerald's like, and this is why I didn't want to be on reality television. Now I'm the bad guy for wanting a family and more kids. See? And this is why he didn't want to be on reality television. Because now people are looking at him. Are you making her have this baby? See? Let me take a sip. Brooklyn Rose says, I have 2 kids and that's hard. I can't even imagine. I have no kids and I'm like, oh, that's a lot. Look, that's a lot of work. Good luck. See, Risha says, he's being selfish. Now, all of a sudden, Gerald is the bad guy. Okay. Queen Day says, hold on, let me bring this up. Queen Day says, I teared up during her scene as an empath felt the heavy load she's carrying. I would pause on adding to the family now, too. Yeah. And again, because I know she's a Taurus, because I know how much we carry and the world would never know, I was like, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more to Shamia and what she's sharing. The fact that she's sharing this much says to me she's carrying triple what she's sharing. So, girl, if you don't want to have that baby yet, it's okay. It's all right. Take your time. Because again, she just lost a baby physically. So then there's that process and the hormones of that and the mourning of that. God bless you, girl. But I'm glad we're getting to know a little bit more about Shamia on her own and her family and things like that. Okay? All right, it's a journey with Shamia with me in this recap. Stay tuned. Okay. Angela goes to visit one of her properties with Charles, and he is crotchety as ever. As you know, she's building 5 different homes, and this is part of the business that she's in. I didn't realize that Charles was also had invested his money, but why not? You're married. Why not invest more? Yes, let me tell you, this is the making of someone that's smart in business. We shouldn't be spending all of our own money. I know sometimes people are like, oh, well, I want control. Why are we selling off that? No, you shouldn't be. These billionaires don't spend their own money. You do realize that, right? So to me, it makes complete sense that she's going to pull him in this business and invest in this business. We see the before and after of this place. The place looks gorgeous. The lawn could need some work, but he says that. Charles Oakley is so damn crotchety, but I don't mind watching it. He is so crotchety. I don't mind it. As long as he's not disrespectful to her. Well, then there's, well, okay. Look, I don't know yet. But he makes me giggle a little bit. Because then they start talking about a vow renewal. Because what we didn't know about their relationship, that's the thing though, Angela. The more you talk about this relationship with Charles, I'm sort of confused as to timelines. I'm confused to what's really happening. Because she says early in their marriage, they ended up living separately because of what he was going through with being banned from MSG, the owner not liking him. She talked about how long they didn't even ask this during Watch What Happens Live, but maybe it's going to happen during the season. Okay. See, that's the downside of Watch What Happens Live is because they do hold back because of what's going to play out on the season. But okay. So they end up talking about this vow renewal. She wants to renew their vows because of how tumultuous the beginning of their relationship was. All right. He's like, girl, you're paying for $3,000 a month in therapy. He's like, they don't give you a discount after how many sessions? That'd make y'all laugh a little bit. Like, he really wants to get, I mean, come on. Y'all know Charles Oakley reminds you of one of your uncles that would say something crazy like that. They don't give you a discount after how many sessions? No, it don't work like that. And she says, if I was paying $3,000 a month in therapy, lock me up. She's like, it's like $1,200 a month. I could see that. If she goes once a week, I could see that. And sometimes, well, look, who knows? She could be going twice a week for all we know. This is true. Duchess D says, vow renewals are a bad omen on Real Housewives. It is. It is. I kind of, and as soon as she said it, I was like, I'm like, oh, I hope we don't do it. I hope we don't do it. Don't do it, girl. If y'all didn't do it this season, Angela, if you watch this, don't do it. Don't do a vow renewal. I get it. I get the point of it. I get the symbolism of it. Don't do it, though. Don't do it on the show. Okay. Patricia says $3,000 a month for therapy. I mean, if you have money like that, I'm sure some of these therapists do cost that amount. Right? I never paid that much for therapy. But, I mean, some people might say you pay, you get what you pay for. So maybe you need to. We did have a vow renewal on, well, was that a vow? That wasn't a vow renewal. That was an anniversary party on Married to Medicine. But we did do a vow renewal in the past. But that's different. We were talking about housewives. Okay. Duchess D says, you get a discount if you hit your deductible for the year. Is that really a discount, though? I don't think it's a discount. All right. Deborah says, it's the kiss of death. Yeah. Yeah, Johnny says vow renewals are so played out anyways, so unoriginal. Here's the thing though. As soon as she said it, I was like, oh God, are we itching for some sort of storyline? That's the vibe that I got, is that we're itching for our storyline. I get it. You gotta have something, right? All right. Okay, thank you so much. Oh wait, hold on. Sashay Shantae, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Shantae says, Britt keeps saying that she was a video vixen, but they never show flashback clips or pictures. Right? Has anyone found them? I'm so shocked at that. I mean, I can understand Bravo not posting it because, you have to pay for stuff like that. But not pictures. Girl, what videos? Was it a Rick Ross video? Is that when you started dating him? Tech Garage, thank you so much for the super chat. Who will get the Underground Railroad in the divorce? Based off of the situation, him being detained by ICE, Portia. Okay. Toya, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Toya says, the nose comment took me out. I didn't notice until Shamia said something. Angela? You didn't? Come on. Toya, I'm going to need you a little bit, be more present in life. How'd you not? Really? Come on. Gracie, thank you so much for the super chat. Gracie says, the RHA Beach reunion looks are out. Garcelle cleared. Oh, we're not going to be showing them here. I like to keep the RHOA stuff here. We prep for stuff like that. But thank you so much for the super chat and for letting us know. Tune in with Trey. Thank you so much for the super chat. Tune in with Trey says, Cynthia is giving Prince Charming and Party City. It really was giving that. Girl, Tyrese, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Kenya is a force multiplier. I'd like to see this energy from Drew since this is her third season. She may not have it. She does. She doesn't. She really doesn't. Some people are still shocked that she even made it through the reboot. But I think she made it through the reboot because they wanted to kind of have the energy from the last season brought into the next season. They also wanted to talk about her divorce. So I wasn't that surprised. Delon, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Delon says, I'm really liking this season so far and my 99 no's. All right. I always say Delon. Dalen, thank you. But the way you spell it, no. Let me not tell people about their name. Tish, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Tish says, him not telling her to take some time does make it seem like he's the bad guy. He should be affirming her right now. Maybe, but again, we don't hear from Gerald, so we don't know his side. And again, why he probably didn't want to be on reality television. Now he's the bad guy. Okay. Now he's the bad guy. All right. Let's move on because I do want to take some callers and we will be live today at 4 p.m. Eastern for our Married to Medicine recap of the first part of the reunion. Plenty of things to share and say in regards to that. So we get that scene with Angela. Drew meets with her divorce attorney. We learn a lot. We learned a lot in regards to this situation with Drew and the divorce. So the reason why Ralph doesn't want to move out is because he can't afford to pay for another place and pay for this home. As you know, we did a separate video over the weekend talking about Ralph in the Basement YouTube that he's launched because he wants to be able to tell his side. He is so corny. If you saw the video that we did over the weekend and we showed the clip of him promoting it and them hearing someone come downstairs and they're like, someone's coming down and she better not. He is so corny. Like, Drew, I don't know why you were ever with this man. But then I always think like y'all both lie a lot. So maybe that's why. But now they have to co-parent. They have 2 kids together. So she meets with the divorce attorney. Ralph, during their last hearing, did not show up with his attorney. And then he was cross-examining Drew. Oh, God. Please. What? What is this, honey? And the thing is, if you know Ralph and you've been watching his behavior on the show, that wasn't shocking to you, right? You show up to a hearing playing attorney and you're cross-examining Drew? I said... So apparently they've been going through this divorce since 2023. Yes, it's been a long time. We remember when this all went down. Ralph said that he couldn't afford their house and another place. So him trying to say, remember he said on his post that we talked about over the weekend, oh, he wants to be close to his children and blah, 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 blah. Oh, no. You forgot to leave something out. You also can't afford, which is understandable. This is the main reason why a lot of people in divorces stay under the same roof. But you try to make it seem like you just wanted to be close to your kids. No. Based off the court, it says that you can't afford to pay for the house and another place. He also refuses to turn over his financials, and the paperwork that he has turned over, she said the majority of that paperwork is Drew's paperwork, which makes complete sense because we still don't know what you do for work, Tommy. When I was talking to Drew at BravoCon a couple of years ago, both Todd and Ralph were right behind her, and they were just sort of looking at her talking to her. I was looking at them in my peripheral. I knew they were probably like, why is she talking to him? Why is she talking to him? I remember their faces, too. They're both like this. Yeah, what y'all looking at? Todd, what y'all looking at? All right? I'm talking to Drew. She's being very sweet. And now look, getting a divorce. Okay? So basically, he hasn't turned over his financials. What in the Simon Gobadia is going on? All right. So the divorce filing is about to be unsealed, and it's going to reveal what we already know. Okay. We already knew this because it came out in the blogs in regards to him sexting with other women, him tracking her, his cheating, a lot of stuff. Are we surprised? No, he's a walking red flag. We saw it before Drew saw it. But I guess for Drew, it was okay because, they lie. They lie together. So I guess she didn't think that he would lie to her. We still don't know what happened in Tampa. I'm convinced that he was meeting somebody in Tampa. Okay. All right. We do get this small scene in between this scene where Drew gets emotional at the divorce. Okay, I almost skipped over this because it's hard to believe, especially when you have an actress on this show, and especially when Drew lies so damn much. It's hard to believe her tears because she gets emotional because the conversation about this getting unsealed and this affecting the children. I believe that. I believe that would affect her, but it's just hard to believe Drew because she lies so much and because she is an actress and she can cry on like that. Okay. So I was sort of like, I wanted to feel for her, but then I was like, okay. Then we get the small scene with Shamia taking her daughter Shia to get this procedure done with the tonsils and whatnot. Shia is such a sweet little girl, and she is the spitting image of Gerald. And I just liked seeing her have conversation, and I was just like, this is such a sweet little girl. So I thought this was a cute little scene. Again, Shamia has a lot going on with her kids. Excuse me, y'all. So we have that cute little scene, okay? Let's get to Portia and her mother, Miss Diane. Again, this is where I'm talking about the edit. Did anyone else notice when, first of all, not Portia, because they're going to get their feet massaged, and that's becoming a big thing. Anyone notice that? I noticed that a lot in New York. Like, there's this special places just for like foot massages and treatments. Take care of your feet. Take care of your feet, y'all, because as you get older, woo, woo, woo.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But I've noticed it a lot around the city. A lot of these foot places. I haven't gone in. I'm going to go in, though. Take care of my feet. I got flat feet. Yes, massage them. Right? So she before she goes in, she's like, oh my goodness, I forgot to lotion my feet. And I wish the editors would have put in, bye, Ashy. Why didn't they add that? Bye, Ashy. Okay. Bye, Ashy. Because she forgot to put lotion on her feet. It happens to the best of us. But the fact that she says it because of the whole Kenya of it all from season 5, that's the only thing that came to my mind. I was like, okay, Ashy. See, editors, who's editing this? This is the same company that does Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know who the editors for this season. You missed an opportunity. You're supposed to add, bye, Ashy. Fine. So here's my problem, okay, with this scene in regards to the edit. 1 minute, Miss Diane and Portia are having a conversation, and they look like they're turned towards each other. Then another second, they're facing the person massaging their feet. I will say this: I'm not into feet. There are some people that are into feet. I don't like seeing people's feet. I hate when I have friends post, oh, I'm getting a manicure, pedicure, and they're showing us the person working on their feet. I'm like, ew, like nobody wants to see that. And I mean, you could probably have the cutest feet in the world. I don't want to see your feet. Okay? So they're showing their feet. But the edit was so weird because 1 minute they're facing each other, and then the next minute they're the other way. Okay, whatever. So Portia's talking about the things that are going on with Simon. Anyone else notice, though? I feel like Portia is giving Simon a lot of grace. And it makes me wonder, was she either really in love with this man? Because I haven't believed that at all. Okay? Or does he have something on her? Look. Okay. Because she's really giving him a lot of grace. Because I really thought during the season that she was going to go in on him. And maybe he thought the same thing, and that's why he was crashing out on social media. I mean, eventually she started, getting him together on social media, talking about his ED. But yeah. So, I don't know. I felt like she's giving him a lot of grace. And Miss Diane's like, yeah, I always looked at, Simon as your protector. I was like, protector? Really? Okay. But here's the thing. What we don't talk about enough is Miss Diane's influence on Portia. Yeah, she's going to block me today, y'all. And it stood out to me because Portia talks about how, hold on. Oh, wait, before we get to that, before we talked about Shamia stuff. So Portia reached out to his cousin, other family members in regards to, I didn't understand what she was talking about. Like, you wanted them to reach out to Simon to help you with the divorce? I didn't understand it. Maybe it's cultural that I didn't understand what she meant about reaching out to the family to help her with this divorce stuff? Like, what were they supposed to do? Clearly, they said no. They were not going to help her. They were not going to get involved. So I'm not sure exactly what Portia wanted his family. Yes, because they had the traditional wedding and they had the African wedding. Okay. So I was sort of like, what did she want them to do? But she said she reached out and they were like, we want no parts. Why would she think that they would want to help her? You're Johnny come lately. You've been married to the man for less than 2 years. They have no loyalty to you. She says that, they were supposed to mediate. Okay, I guess to make this a little bit smoother in regards to it. But they said they didn't want any involvement. Why wouldn't they want involvement? Helena says, I think it was for spiritual advice. Yeah, Crystal says she said it was a part of the Benin culture. But that's why I wish. Here's the thing: she says it's a part of the culture, but she didn't really explain it properly. But that's Portia. 265 days of the year. Okay. Oh, T says that Kempire. This story was leaked. She wanted them to tell Simon to chill out on social media. Okay, so all right, so maybe that's what she was referring to. All right, but again. Why would they help her? Why would they help her? Yes, you married him, but that's my family. That's my loyalty will be to him. All right. So she talked about that. Then she talked about Shamia wanting to take her out to the strip club and get her mind off of everything. And that's where Shamia told her about what Drew was doing. And no, that's also where Shamia told her about what Kelly had said. So Miss Diane says, you gotta watch The Dog That Brings the Bone. I got a couple of feelings about what Miss Diane, what she said, because I agree with her. You have to be mindful of the person bringing news to you. I do believe that. But it made me look, especially because, and again, this is because we have years of watching Shamia's loyalty to Portia. But Miss Diane has a front row seat to that loyalty. She's known Shamia since Shamia was in high school. So she knows the type of friend Shamia has been. Unless Portia is going to come out and tell us that Shamia hasn't really been a good friend and she bears all the grievances, we, the audience, have not seen that. So I was so taken aback by Miss Diane's reaction because I thought Miss Diane would actually be a little bit more diplomatic. But again, people treat Portia, not just the audience and this cast over the years, treat Portia like she's a little girl. And Portia is a full-grown 40-something-year-old woman. But we also know the part of why Portia acts the way that she does is because of Miss Diane. And I was like, Miss Diane, I did not expect you to say that. I expected Miss Diane to say, well, to be more supportive of their friendship. And, well, she was looking out for you. She's always looked out for you. You guys have been friends for a long time. But no, it looks like Miss Diane has never liked Shamia. This is what I assessed. This is not what was said. What I assessed from that situation was Miss Diane has never liked Shamia, probably because of all that twerking. Maybe, who knows? It seems as if she has never liked Shamia and that friendship for whatever reason. And I don't understand why. Because of what we've seen of this friendship is nothing but loyalty, even in this hour of their friendship, even with all the promo that's been done, we've seen Shamia have Portia's back. And I really don't believe that Shamia, even after we see it play out during the season, because remember Candy said, they're all playing nice because they have to. I think even after we find out what happens, I don't think that Shamia is going to be throwing Portia under the bus. I really don't. And I really expected, I was blindsided by Miss Diane's comments. I was like, Miss Diane, I thought you were going to say, well, you and Shamia, I think Shamia has good intentions. She's always had your back. She's a good friend. And I agree with Miss Diane for the most part that, there are a lot of people, you got to be mindful of people when they are bringing news to you. But I wouldn't think that with Shamia. That's been my friend since high school. She's shown me nothing but loyalty. Kay Avery says, Miss Diane is still her mom. She's always going to be Team Portia. She enables her and do not hold her daughter accountable. That's why Portia knows no boundaries and morals. Damn. It's one thing to be Team your child, but it's another thing. I don't think in this moment it needed to be Team Portia. It needed to be more so, Portia, I don't think, Shamia had ill intentions. At least that, but again, we don't know. Maybe there have been things over the years that Miss Diane has seen that we don't know. I haven't seen that though. I'm waiting for them to tell us, well, Shamia did this. And this is why Portia doesn't trust her. But normally, if we didn't know Shamia's history based off of, let's say Shamia was just coming on the show and we didn't know Shamia was a good friend over the years and that Portia has not been the best friend to her. Let's say we didn't know that. I would understand Miss Diane saying like, well, you need to be mindful of the person bringing news to you. I understand that because I do look at people sideways that bring news to me sometimes. I'm like, why are you bringing this to me? I don't care. I do kind of look at people because you never know people's intentions. But we have history. Look, we have history with Shamia. So we don't see Shamia being that type of person. But I was taken aback because remember, we've talked about Miss Diane and, how she's enabled and babied Portia over the years. But I really was taken aback because I didn't think that Miss Diane felt that way about Shamia because it's not even just about what Shamia did at the strip club. It was also about, I know you and Shamia have been friends since high school. So there's something with Miss Diane and Shamia that she probably has never liked Shamia. And maybe it's all the twerking. I don't know. But in that moment, it wasn't just about Shamia being the dog with the bringing the bone. It was more so about, oh no, there have been other things that have happened over the years that Miss Diane doesn't feel Shamia. I want to know. Maybe she's also jealous that she didn't get the rich African. Look.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I don't know. But okay. All right. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes, but we have 2,700 people watching. Okay. Danielle, thank you so much for being a member for 41 months. Come on, it's not going up. There we go. 41 months. Thank you so much, Danielle. Danielle says, Miss Diane doesn't like the fact that people say that Portia is jealous of Shamia. Okay. That might be it. Keith, thank you. Keith is always changing his photo. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, I'm no attorney, but for court to make the assessment that Ralph can't afford to live by himself, wouldn't that mean they have his financials? Well, maybe he said that in court. And maybe, I don't know. It sounds as if that's something that Ralph said in court. That's why he has to live in the basement. Sharon, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Sharon says, won't gatekeep. Oh, wait a minute. Head massage on Buford Highway, 1 hour, $40. Is that in New York? Buford Highway. Won't gatekeep. I love that. Is it a head massage on Buford Highway, 1 hour, $40? We were talking about the feet, though. I really don't love people touching my head. Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Queen says, they know how she got him. I am Nigerian. It's hard to intervene in this foolishness. Oh, what a perfect and epic love story. Okay, Queen. Queen says, and again, this is a very new relationship. I can see why the family doesn't want to get involved. And maybe if she had been with him for years, I wonder if Fallon reached out to the family when that was going down. Thank you so much, Black Girls Getting the Shift Together. Thank you for the super chat. Portia is emotionally stunted. That's why she acts childish. Diane is jealous of Shamia, too. Y'all are a mess. Oh, it's in Atlanta. How's that help me? Thank you. Regina says the name of the place is H Massage. Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to be a little more clear in super chats. Okay, how am I supposed to understand? Thank you so much for clarifying live chat, but thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, all right. Let me move on because I feel like I've already been talking about this way too long. I've been talking for over an hour. And we haven't even gotten to the callers yet. Let me drop the call-in link for our members first. Live chat. We will drop the call link for you guys in just a second. Not until we get to 1,000 likes. We're almost there. Mods, let us know where we should get to, and I will drop it. We'll just say 1,000. All right. All right. So if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call link for you guys right now on the post tab. Also, be sure to check out the story that we did over the weekend in regards to YouTuber Eric Conover in regards to his arrest for attempted unaliving of a police officer. Sharon says she's going to buy me a massage. When I come to Atlanta, Sharon, I'm going to hold you to it. All right, members, we dropped the call link for you guys as well. Okay. Don't forget, we will be live at 4 p.m. Eastern for our recap of Married to Medicine reunion, so stay tuned for that. Pageant Mommy says, come to Westchester for a foot massage. Why y'all got me coming to Westchester for a foot massage? And I'm in New York City. There's got to be foot massages here, right? Probably the best. If it's the best one, maybe I will. All right. Foxy said, we need to get to 1,500 likes before I drop the call and link. I mean, I don't see why we couldn't get there. We have 2,600, almost 2,700 people here. I'm not going to fight with y'all. Keep watching. That's all that matters. Shout out to those of you that have been tapping your screens, guys. Thank you so much for 20,000 likes, over 20,000 likes on TikTok. Can we get to 25,000? Appreciate you tapping your screens and sharing the live. Keep sharing. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. All right. Thank you so much, SD Mac. There goes SD Mac. SD Mac says, thank you for being a member. Not watching Real Housewives, just love your recaps. Thank you, SD Mac. We appreciate that. And we appreciate all of you being here. All right, so we had that scene. So let's talk about this final scene with Kelly's Beaumont event. And I must have walked past. I didn't go into Beaumont, but I went to Atlanta for a show over the summer. So I went to Lenox and I also went to Phipps. Okay. I only went to Lenox because I wanted to go to, where was it? David Yurman. That was the only reason why I went to Lenox, because everyone told me I should go to Phipps. So I went to Phipps and it was much more civilized than Phipps. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry, but not sorry. Phipps was more my speed. It wasn't like crowded. Look, it was so much better in Phipps, but it didn't have everything. And didn't have everything that I wanted to check out. Specifically, David Yurman. I wanted to go to David Yurman, and they're like, "Oh, David Yurman's at Lenox, which is across the street, but it's Atlanta weather, so I had to take an Uber across the street." I was like, "I can't." It was hot in Atlanta. It was July. Okay, by the time I get to cross the street, and then I'm getting recognized in Lenox Mall. Can you imagine if I was a hot, sweaty mess? They're like, "Kempire, you looking hot and sweaty." Leave me alone. But it was so busy in Lenox. OMG. It was so busy in Lenox. I was like, let me go back to Phipps. Luckily, when I was in Phipps, I had lunch there. So I was somewhat prepared to go to Lenox. All right. But I prefer Phipps. So apparently the event that she was having, she closed down the store. I have to give it to Kelly. She's giving you guys, I know everyone's celebrating Shamia and her $9 million home, but Kelly's also giving us some luxury as well. Okay? T says, I'm bougie too, Kempire. That's the Taurus in us. The Taurus in us. Mia Moore says, I'm going to stick to the Topanga Canyon Mall. Where's that? Okay. Pageant Mommy says, Balmain is one of my, it's Beaumont, right? Some people say Balmain, Americans. So she has this event in honor of 3 of her daughters had the brittle bone disorder. Okay. Oh, I know Black Girl says that was probably part of the reason why I didn't want to go to Lenox, because of the pow 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 situation. Yeah, there was some of that because I almost forgot about that. Yeah. But yeah. All right. I got recognized in Phipps too, though. So I can't even say, but it was just a better shopping experience because the halls of the mall were not crowded like that. It was very pleasant. Like, okay. Oh, in Calabasas. I was about to say, I was like, it's in Calabasas. I was like, that doesn't sound like it's Atlanta. Okay. Anyway, so can we focus? This is why my reviews end up being 4 hours long. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, NYC MP. She says, Golden Yan, hold on, in New York, Golden Yan Foot Spa, 181 Lafayette Street, $35 an hour, ranked top 10 of 2025. That's in Chinatown, right? I'm going to go check that out. That's a little bit more fitting. Sorry, Pageant Mommy. I don't want to go down. I gotta go to the Metro North to get my foot rubbed on. Get me my billionaire. Yeah, my billionaire's probably not going to do it. He's like, I will hire someone. Thank you, sir. Love you too. All right, focus. So shout out to Kelly for bringing awareness to this disorder. I've heard this before, and I've heard of parents being accused of abuse because, the doctor, I mean, rightfully so, because you don't know. A kid is coming in with broken body parts. The hospital is doing their job. But Kelly talks about this at her event, and this is why she's so passionate about the event, because all of the proceeds from this event are going to go to charity. So shout out to Beaumont for doing this and hosting this, and for Kelly for doing this as well. And and again, everyone keeps saying, you don't have a storyline. This person doesn't have a story. She's giving us a lot. Her divorce, her own personal story. Now this, and then she's hosting an event. She's hosting a very nice luxury event. I'm like, all right, at Phipps and not at Lenox Mall. All right. I don't know about you, but I cracked up. I cracked when Portia was talking with Kenya about, because Kenya was surprised that Portia was there on time. She wasn't 3 hours late like she was for Shamia's birthday party. And she apparently hair and makeup she shares with Drew. And apparently Drew started slowing down because the makeup artist had to go to Portia's. That made me laugh. That made me giggle. I was like, that does sound like something Drew would do. So damn petty. All right. So Portia, she cracks up with that. I love seeing PJ and Brooklyn hanging out together. They look cute. Both Portia and Kenya in matching dresses with their daughters. Very cute. Very cute. And it's nice to see them getting along and having a good time. All right. So I thought that was funny. So Portia had to get her makeup done really quickly. Portia's a beautiful woman, but when she said it, I was like, oh, so that's why the makeup looks like that. And I'm not a makeup nista like that, but I could tell a difference versus what Portia normally does with her makeup versus what we saw. And I was like, oh, so I can see the difference, Portia. Beautiful woman still, but I was like, oh, I see it. I see it. So Cynthia and Portia have a conversation about her divorce and what she's going through and whatnot. And Cynthia's like, I don't know how you're dealing with it. I've been through divorce, but I've never had to deal with, people going on social media and doing all the things. Because we have to remember, while they're filming this is where Simon is crashing out on social media. Right? All right. Okay, y'all. 10% goes to charity. It's still going to charity. Calm down. Of course, they have to make a profit because it's Beaumont. Calm down. Yeah, y'all just have to be clear. Only 10% is going to charity. Okay. 10% of how much those things cost is a lot. All right. Lavender says, what was wrong with her hair? Same issue? Apparently the hair and makeup, she said, Drew is using. Is Drew it is kind of giving sick in single black female. It is kind of giving that. Drew. And again, Drew has been accused of doing stuff like this before. Remember, Candace accused her of doing some of that shakedown stuff too. All right. Oh, Simply says Portia was in Single Black Female 3 on Lifetime. The makeup was minimal but contoured. Almost didn't recognize her. Yeah, I did see a couple of pictures from the movie. All right. Moving on. So what else happens in this? Kelly then talked about her 3 daughters. She gives her speech and she talks about her 3 daughters having the brittle bone disorder. And the moment that this happened, where they basically had ACS at the hospital because they thought that she was harming her daughter. But then she talks about the relief that she had when the doctors finally diagnosed her daughter correctly of having this disorder. Mind you, we're seeing her daughters in the background there. And again, I tell you, every time I see her twin daughters, because they're always dressing alike, they're so cute. They got their little hair out and curly little hair. All her daughters are cute, but her twin daughters, because I've always wanted a twin. I've always, me personally, dressing alike. They're so cute. All the little girls at this party were really cute. And I think it was a great idea for a really good cause. Okay. And again, for those that are harping on it's only 10%, now that she's done this event on national television, I'm sure a lot of people, if not, we should donate to this organization. She's brought awareness to this, okay? And sidebar, the importance of her talking about this, because we talked about this when we talked about Married to Medicine and how Black people are treated at the hospital in general. So couple that with now they think that you've abused your child. it's important that she's talking about this. Okay? Exactly. Elizabeth says 10% of 30,000 is not bad. Calm down, y'all. What organization have you donated to lately? I'll wait. Some of you are very charitable. You're charitable when we do our fundraisers here, but some of y'all like to be a holier than thou on your pedestals and haven't donated a damn thing, not even thoughts and prayers. Look, don't get me started. I'm in my villain era. Don't get me started. Why was Brooklyn looking at the expensive dresses? Her and Kelly had a cute little banter together. They were looking at dresses. I love me some Brooklyn. Brooklyn's adorable. She's very smart. I'm not surprised. I'm sure Kenya's focused on making sure, because Kenya's well-read, well-spoken. I'm sure she is reiterating and she's pouring into Brooklyn all the stuff that she got from her grandmother and what she wanted to get from her own mother. Okay? All right. Philly John. Philly John says the Boys and Girls Club always. All right. Moving on. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about, first of all, Drew shows up late. Are we surprised? Why is Drew showing up late and she had the hair and makeup before? But again, she has kids, so fine. And then Atlanta traffic. All right. Okay. So Drew shows up late. Okay. Drew shows up with her sister. Okay. Which I'm glad to see her and her sister in a better place. Remember, her sister managed her for a very long time in the industry. She stopped representing her. I don't know. Maybe they're still working together. I don't know. In some capacity. I don't know. But her sister's there to support her. I feel like something happened between... We've seen Drew's sister on social media defending her sister against Portia. But the fact that Portia mentions the sister in this episode says to me something happened with the sister and Portia before. This is where some of the things are not making 100% sense. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is she mentioning the sister like that? Unless the sister said something before at another event, or maybe she said something here and that we didn't see or hear. Maybe. You know how editing is. But before we get to that, so Angela's there. Angela says that she wants to have a conversation with Shamia. She sees Shamia. She goes to Shamia and she's like, I think we should have a conversation. Here's the thing. I don't know how the beef between Shamia and Drew turned into a beef between Shamia and Angela. Yes, Angela was asking questions like, why are you, acting as Portia's representative? A lot of people are going to ask that question, Shamia. I didn't like how Shamia approached the conversation because Angela seemed like she genuinely said, I think we should have a conversation. It seemed like she was coming in peace. But Shamia was sort of like already standoffish. Again, maybe it's because it's her trigger because everyone says that about her online, about how she is Portia's representative. So maybe she didn't like that. Or maybe there was more said that they didn't show. I don't know. But I really felt like Angela was coming to her genuinely like, I think we should have a conversation. And Shamia was like, I'm not trying to hear it. And I didn't get that, especially when you see Shamia later on have a conversation with Drew and it's all good with Drew. Mind you, your beef with Angela stems from the issues with Drew. But okay. Okay, fine. So it then leads to a back and forth because of the energy that Shamia is giving Angela. And Angela calls her Shamina. I mean, that was clever. Okay. And then Shamia was setting us up for her conversation, for the angle about Angela's nose. Because she was already saying this in other scenes. So she was already leaning on, I'm going to talk about her nose. So for me, it sort of doesn't land the same when I feel like the setup, like you're already saying the same thing about the person already in other scenes. That's not Housewives. Okay? That feels like you are rehearsing your line. It's still funny, but it felt like you were rehearsing your line. And it's just like, okay, Shamina, what else do you have? Because I did notice that Angela was clocking you multiple times too. She was like, Shamina. And then she was sort of like, she called her Flavor Flav. And then Shamia was like, oh, I did dress up as Flavor Flav. I was like, I did dress up as Flavor Flav. Then Angela says, well, Flavor Flav is the ultimate hype man. And I was like, so again, that's a grown read, okay? The whole Shamina, the Flavor Flav, the being the, I was just like, oh, what? Okay. Oh, all right. And then she started talking about her retro nose. And then she was just like, how about you get your nose out of Portia's, ASS. I was like, okay. Fajillian says she's not quick, just like her BFF. You know what? But I've noticed that with even on Watch What Happens Live, where she was trying to do like her clapbacks and it just didn't land. We talked about that last week when she was talking about, what was Shamia? I'm sorry, Shamia. It just rolls off the tongue. Come on. It really does. Philly Jones says the Flavor Flav reference was good, especially when she says that he was the ultimate hype man, and especially when you know the history. Oh, when Drew called her a lapdog, her response to that on Watch What Happens Live, I was just like, no, that didn't laugh. And then she barked. So she does come at Angela's nose. And again, we talked about this last week. Yes, she definitely has a nose of that era. A lot of these folks, these black folks, were getting these Michael Jackson noses, the Jackson 5 noses. They've definitely gotten better with these nose jobs. So I was like, okay. I mean, she didn't lie. And so, of course, Kenya and Portia are laughing, and they're like, oh, my God, what do you mean, 90s nose? But she kept on saying it, and she had nothing else. Like, there was no other clapback to Angela. Angela was like, boom, boom, boom. I was like, hey, Angela, I see you. She went from the name to the nose, and she was like, oh, you want to talk about my nose? Well, how about you get your nose out of Portia's you-know-what? I was like, oh, all right. All right. Let me say thank you. People be people, and thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. People be people and says, hold on. Portia loved the idea of elevating her social status, not Simon. To keep it real, that's what Miss Diane trained her to do. That's what people have been saying. But she did not love the hot dog man. That's what people have been saying in regards to Miss Diane. But all right. All right, so we had that back and forth. Again, I don't understand the back and forth I understand the back and forth. I just don't think it needs to be that deep to the point where they're still going back and forth. Angela was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was still taking shots at Shamia. Damn it. It's so good, Angela. It's so good. Sorry. Okay. All right. And that's a Taurus. Stop playing with us Tauruses. Okay, this is a 2 Tauruses against each other. This is a 2 bulls. Okay, 2 bulls. But Angela's getting you. Okay, she's getting you. But Jenny says the hot dog man cheated on her. Well, you got a point. Look, you got a point. All right. At the end of this episode, we see Drew confront Portia, and she wants to have a conversation with Portia. Portia, you are probably being paid the most on the show. You're being paid to have these conversations. I thought it was kind of lame. Not kind of. It was lame that you did not engage in the conversation. You're being paid to do this. You should have engaged. If you wanted to say something to Drew, it's not to all the other women. It's not in these other scenes. Do it now. Have the conversation now. Some might say she didn't want to give her the airtime. You're at a group event. This is what you're paid to do. You're paid the most. Your storyline with Simon Gobadia fell apart. Do your job. So I thought it was kind of lame that she was like, I don't want to talk about it now. So when are we going to talk about it? In a separate scene somewhere else? I don't want to talk about it now. I was surprised they were having any of these conversations because their kids are there. All the kids are there, but that's something that they've done. Look, they've talked about all kinds of things in front of the kids where the kids were in earshot. But they could have easily had the conversation. So I don't like when I see a lazy housewife. Like, this is your job, and you're paid the most on this cast. Show up and get to work. But then Portia someone just said Portia's scared of her Chicago sister because her sister is not too far. And she's like, I feel the energy. And I was like, wait a second. So something must have happened for her to even think about Portia's sister. And Portia's sister, Drew's sister. I'm like, did she say something? Did something happen previously? Is that why she did not want to get into it with Drew? Unique says Portia didn't want to argue in front of those kids. I mean, any excuse is better than none. Okay? Any excuse is better than none. All right. Let me say thank you. Samara, thank you so much for the super chat. Samara says, but Shamia's friend Ming Lee has the same nose. Samara, remember Ming Lee was being considered for this season too. Word on the street, Ming Lee was going to be a part of the season. I don't know what happened there. She's friends with Portia too. But yeah. All right. And honestly, if you're friends with Shamia, the fact that she made that comment and you have a nose similar to that and you had surgery, I would feel away. Wouldn't you feel away? Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, I don't like how people are conflating the Flavor Flav Reeve as being colorist. RHOP gave us PTSD. I did see some people say that on social media. I'm not giving light to it because that's not how it landed for me. If that's how it lands for other people, that's their experience. I can't because that's not my experience. However, for me, and I'm glad that Angela spoke about it, and that could have been production telling them to people might take that you're being colorist. You should explain what you meant by that. So Angela said, and look, if you know Flavor Flav and his personality, and you know Shamia and her personality, they're very over-the-top personalities. So that's how I took it initially when I first saw the preview. But then when she said, well, Shamia is Portia's hype man, and Flavor Flav is the ultimate hype man, and Shamia even dressed up as Flavor Flav, I said, well, point. But all right. All right. Reminder, we're going to get to some callers. A reminder, the callers' opinions do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. Don't forget, we have partnered with our friends over at Buttah for your skincare. If you've been wanting to see some of the skincare products that I use, be sure to check out the description so you can get 10% off of their skincare system, their silky soft towels. All of that is available in the description, along with more information on everything Kempire, from our merch to our podcast and other ways that you can support the channel and join our new Apple Podcast subscription club, Kempire. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to kempireradio.com.